I have always wanted to travel to Vietnam, and I think the opportunity to visit the country, um, see many of the sites that I've talked about in class, and meet with people who actually experienced the war firsthand, will immeasurably enhance my teaching here at Ohio Wesleyan. The course is called the Vietnam Experience, and it's being run in a sense as a supplemental section to History 160, which is America in the 1960s. And that course, of course, has a substantial component devoted to the Vietnam War. It's one thing to read about how difficult it was, for example, for American soldiers to move about the country easily, quickly, effectively. They'll have an experience. Um, I think they'll have a sense there of the impact, the devastation that this war brought to the Vietnamese society and Vietnamese culture. I very much hope that we can arrange opportunities for the students to not only visit museums and see sites that were connected to the war, but also meet individuals and speak with individuals whose lives were affected, in most cases for the worse, by the war. There's a spatial dimension to history that is very hard to conceive of from books or from written records or sources. Films and video can convey that to some degree, but there's really no substitute for direct personal experience. The 1960s was a time of dramatic change in this country. The 60s has also continued to exert an extraordinary influence on this country for a variety of reasons. Partly because of the media, and the way the media covers the 1960s, partly because of demography, the baby boomers, the generation that come of age in the 1960s. That generation has continued to exert disproportionate influence on American politics, society, and culture. I would argue that if you don't understand the 1960s, you really can't understand or appreciate why America is the way it is today. There's no other recent decade, I would argue, that has had such influence and impact on American society today, contemporary society.